Welcome back, this is CerealSnax. Today I'm looking at Orcs Must Die 2, and I did a review of Orcs Must Die 1, more of a first impressions. I'm going to make the character, I'm going to make a sorceress. In this game you can play both the sorceress and the war mage. I'm going to name her CerealSnax instead of just CerealSnax. Anyway, if you saw my Orcs Must Die the original review, then you probably know kind of the gist of this. This game feels a lot like an expansion of Orcs Must Die 1, which is not a bad thing, actually. That's really great. It's got a lot more tutorial type tips. You can see that here. Once I push the spacebar, it's going to jump into a cutscene, so I will join you after the cutscene is over. It's basically just the intro movie for the sorceress. It's only about, I don't know, a minute long, so enjoy.
Was this how it would end? Trapped, surrounded, my power lost. I deserved so much more. They were coming for me. Once I was their queen, now they would be my doom. Then, out of nowhere, new rift? It was different, fragile. I felt a trickle of power returning, barely there. Not enough to mind control even a single orc. Still, the rift offered an escape. As soon as I stepped through, I saw him, standing right in front of me with that ridiculous grin plastered across his face. I only had one thing to say: run!
Okay, so a little bit of spoiler stuff, I guess, in the intro if you hadn't played the first game, but hopefully you have, and if you haven't, you should buy it. It's $3 on Steam right now, so I would definitely pick it up. It's a lot of fun, and this game is really just an enhancement of that game, a kind of an extension of it, an expansion, like I was saying before. So it's very worthwhile to play that game all the way through, I would say, and then try this one. So you can see this isn't the first level of the game. I have actually edited this so that it's just showing this is a level beyond the first level, just because the first level didn't have as much to talk about as this level does. This level, now, well, let me just start off by talking to you about a few differences between Orcs Must Die 1 and Orcs Must Die 2. The UI and all the setups are pretty much the same, except there's a few more helpful tips and that sort of thing this game has. Obviously, a lot of the traps are different. You can see on my hotbar at the bottom, my fourth icon is actually a passive item that's giving me more coins in the game. So there's a few differences from the main game. But of course, it's my first impression, so I haven't seen a lot of the new stuff yet. This is more kind of just to get my first impressions out there. Once I get a lot through the game, I might show you some of the cool new features of the game, such as multiplayer. I'd like to get to play a multiplayer game just to show you the differences of that. That's probably the biggest sell for this second game, is the fact that you can play with friends. You can play up to 2 people. And you can see this level I'm on right now has 2 rifts, one on the left and one on the right, and that lends itself very well to a 2-player campaign. So you're almost, in a way, you're helping each other out, but in a way it seems like you're actually competing for traps and space and that sort of thing, because you've got to work together. A lot like Sanctum, which is a multiplayer tower defense game, much like this in many, many ways, except for the fact that it's first person and not third person like this one. And of course, in this one you've got 2 characters which have different skills. She has a little wand, and you will see the wand not only shoots out like beams of light, but she also has the ability to charm the orcs and whatever other enemies come out of the rift to fight each other. So that's kind of a neat little feature that they've done. And like I was saying, I got that 4th one as a coin. Like I said, makes drop more coins. These are freezing traps, kind of like the tar pits in the first one. I'm not sure if they'll add more stuff or not, but you know, just a few minor differences. The orcs seem a little more detailed. They tend to die a little bit more violently. Pieces of them kind of fly everywhere, which is really kind of neat. It seems more, there's more style to it. But the first game is great. I think if you haven't played either game, I think you should still pick up the first one for $3. It's a drop in the bucket in terms of price. Play it, see if you like it, because this is just more of the same in many ways, with a few minor improvements, such as multiplayer. So that said, you can see I'm throwing down my traps on each side. Got my frozen traps going down, and I'll show you here at the end kind of the upgrades that it has. And really what it is, it's just this, it's the same as the first one. It's lots of killing of orcs. You know, in the first review I did of Orcs Must Die, I talked kind of about the history of orcs. These are kind of like the orcs developed by Warhammer, you know, green and kind of pig-like, not the Tolkien-esque kind of orcs. These are like the kind of orcs that have been made popular by Warhammer and then by World of Warcraft. But they're kind of goofy and fun-loving in a way. Like you almost feel bad killing them, but it's also fun just to kill them because they're so ridiculous. I'm hoping that in this game there'll be a lot more new creatures. I'm guessing there will be, and some other stuff. The other thing I'll show you at the end too is that if you own the first Orcs Must Die game, you actually get access to 10 of the classic maps from the first game, which is kind of a neat thing too, and you can play those co-op in Orcs Must Die too. You can see a coin, these coins that have dropped. You can see one on the frozen trap up ahead there, and there's one over here. So you can actually get those coins, which is nice. Different than skulls, you can actually purchase skills and that sort of thing with the coins. And it seems like there's a lot more health bottles lying around and a lot more mana bottles lying around than the first game. It seems a little bit easier in that regard. The first game, it's hard to get 5 skulls. I don't think I'm going to get 5 skulls here, but this is the first time running through this dungeon. But it did seem like getting 5 skulls in the first game really felt like an accomplishment. So far in this game, it's been very easy. In the first level, I was able to get 5 skulls with no problem, but I'm assuming that'll probably get harder as well. So we will see. Reserve judgment on that. So far, it's a lot of fun. It's a cheap game. You know, it's $15. Steam will probably have sales on it every once in a while. So if you don't want to plunk down $15 for an indie game, then just wait around. It's funny nowadays how we kind of, you know, it's funny in the past we used to pay $40, $50, $60 for games all the time without question. And nowadays we say, you know, is $15 too much for a game? Now for Orcs Must Die 2, I would say $15 is fine. And I think that you would get your $15 worth out of it. But if you're really trying to save money and you're willing to wait, then grab Orcs Must Die 1 and play that one until you get 5 skulls on every level. And by then, this game will probably be down in price. So you can see I'm just going through the waves. Just like the old game, there's 5 waves of orcs that come through. And you get the... You can see when I kill the orcs, I get 10 basic spending points to buy more traps each time I kill them. So you can see that pops over their head, that little pin. And if you do like combo kills and that sort of thing, you get more. So, and of course, the more orcs that go through the rift, the more chance you have of not getting those points, because for each one that goes through, you're minus a point. So I see I got 15 for the bigger orcs, 10 for the little orcs. And then I've got these elemental creatures, which split up into multiple creatures once you destroy them the first time. I've found my new tactic with the sorceress, which you couldn't do with the war mage, is to charm them and let it fight itself over and over and over again. I've had one go in the rift already. May have another couple more here, but I hope this gives you kind of an idea of what Orcs Must Die 2 is like. If you didn't watch Orcs Must Die 1 and all you've heard about is Orcs Must Die 2, you'll see that the different... Oop, get this skull thing here. So, really well done game. For an indie game, this is really quality. If you liked World of Warcraft and that sort of thing, you may really enjoy this just because of the style, because it's very similar to that type of style. I probably shouldn't be comparing every game to World of Warcraft, but it is probably the most popular game ever made, and so it's hard not to make comparisons to a game like that. Trying to kill this elemental here, trying to get into that portal without... Oh, got him. So I got the final wave here. And then we will be able to call it a day on this particular level. I really like the sorceress compared to the war mage. I don't know what they've changed on the war mage yet, so I can't really give my first impressions on him. I'm guessing not too much. I'm guessing he still uses his crossbow, still has his lance. I saw that in the upgrade screen. So he's going to be probably pretty much the same as he was in Orcs Must Die. I think one of the main differences in this game, in this Orcs Must Die 2 versus Orcs Must Die 1, are the levels. The levels are much different in terms of their design. They're less simplistic and more complex. You really have to treat each level as if it's its own puzzle. The first game was somewhat like that, but a lot of times it was just a matter of massing your traps at the beginning and standing back and wailing on the orcs. And now it feels like sometimes you have to be a little bit more strategic to get these orcs down. Another thing that this game has that's different than the first one is these upgrading of your items. Now you can upgrade items and traps in the first game, but not to the extent that you can in this. You can almost tailor your character to your own play style, which makes it very interesting and very, very cool in that respect. And you'll see that here in a second once I'm done with this level. I'll show you the upgrades and sort of stuff that you can do. You know, all the passive items that they have and all that. It really, all they've done is just added a lot more depth to the game. One of the other things that you can do is these traps. It's not just like putting down a bunch of traps. There's actually certain traps which, when combined together, make these huge machines of death, basically. And That's a lot of fun. So here's the endless level unlocked. Endless level is basically where you can just play forever until you die. And that's a neat little feature. You can get more skulls that way to upgrade your items. And here's what I was talking about. You've got the healing trinket, which you can then upgrade. You can purchase that. And some of the other, of course, all the items can be upgraded in some way or another. You can see all the traps that you can purchase and upgrade. You can see like the acid sprayer, which I love. You can just upgrade it to shoot further and all that stuff. There's all these different types of weapons, the wind belt from the original game, all that. These trinkets that you can then upgrade. This is the coin drop trinket I was talking about earlier, which you can then upgrade completely to just collect coins. And there's achievements associated with upgrading as well. So like I said, they've just really fleshed out the game to have a lot more depth. So okay, I upgraded the scavenger trinket one more. You can actually buy different character skins. It's really just, they've really just done a lot of good stuff. So I can't say enough good things about Orcs Must Die 2. It looks like it's going to be a game that I'm going to probably play till the end because I enjoy it so much. It's just got a great aspect to it. So you can see I got all my skulls here. You can see the stat screen's a little bit more robust this time around. And what's real crazy about this is if you look at the leaderboards, there's already people who have got like incredible scores, even though the game's only been out for about 7 hours when this video is made. So unbelievable how people have already kind of dug through the game. There's the endless mode score, and of course classic. Here I'll quickly show you. If I go into campaign menu, I can then select the game mode classic, and you can play those 10 classic maps in co-op style. And you see the create party button. I'm not really showing that. At some point I'd like to have up like I said, a multiplayer version of this. I'm just gonna run. I'm not gonna actually start the game, but you can see the acid pit from the old game, and if you recall this level from the original game, then you'll have a sense of familiarity and nostalgia from playing that game. So anyway, I'm gonna end this here. I hope you enjoyed my quick first impressions video on Orcs Must Die 2, and check back again soon for more videos from Cereal.